Someone gives notice, a resignation, retirement, a termination, or perhaps senior leadership finally approves the additional headcount you've been requesting for months. And almost immediately, the conversation begins. Help! We need to hire. We need to find someone. You need to move quickly. I'm Laurie Karras, and this is the Alignment Gap Built for Performance, executive briefings for leaders responsible for results. This episode is Open Roles Are Organizational Indicators. So, did that scenario feel familiar? How do you react when the dynamics of a team are about to change? Whether someone is leaving or a new position has been approved, the pressure, it feels immediate because work, it still needs to get done and deadlines still exist. Customers still need to be served. And sometimes panic or grief over what is about to be lost begins driving decisions before organizations fully understand what they actually need next. When someone leaves, the first reaction is often personal. How does this affect me, my workload, my deadlines? And that's understandable because the pressure is real. But pressure also has a way of narrowing perspectives. The conversation quickly becomes focused on replacing the individual, redistributing the work, and restoring normal operations as quickly as possible. Yet the vacancy may be revealing something far more important because open roles don't just create operational pressure, they create organizational visibility, visibility into how work is actually being accomplished, where dependencies exist, how responsibilities have evolved, and whether the role itself still aligns with where the organization is trying to go. This is where strategy and people become inseparable because an open role doesn't simply create a staffing decision. It creates a strategic opportunity, an opportunity to evaluate whether the work should continue exactly as it exists today, or whether this moment can support something new, new technology, new processes, new capabilities, new participation in initiatives that move the organization closer to its future direction. Because vacancies don't just reveal where the organization has been, it can also help define where the organization goes next. And the team is watching, not simply to see whether the role gets filled, but to understand what comes next. Because an open role is not only an opportunity to evaluate the position, it's an opportunity to intentionally shape the future of the team, to strengthen capabilities, to support future goals, and to demonstrate that the organization is investing not only in replacing what was lost, but in building what comes next. Organizations often move to restore what was lost before examining what the vacancy has revealed. And when that happens, the role gets filled, but the underlying questions often remain unanswered. And months later, when the hire struggles or turns over, the process just simply repeats itself. Organizations may conclude that the person wasn't the right fit, yet sometimes the individual was never the issue. The role was never fully evaluated. The organizational need was never fully understood, and the visibility created by the vacancy disappeared before understanding had a chance to emerge. Organizations often treat open roles as vacancies to fill rather than organizational indicators to examine. So it's worth asking, is your organization replacing for what was lost or reevaluating what is needed next? Because open roles are rarely just open spaces. They often provide a brief opportunity to see the organization more clearly than before. And sometimes the greatest value of a vacancy isn't the role that gets filled, it's what the organization learns before it does. At the end of the day, performance doesn't happen by accident. It's built through clarity, alignment, and disciplined execution. Thanks for listening to the Alignment Gap Built for Performance. I'm Laurie Karras. See you next time.